Hello, my name is Kim Jones, and I would like to talk to school leaders for a moment on creating a culturally relevant teaching atmosphere and why it is important for overall school achievement. First, where should we look for this culturally relevant teaching atmosphere? I believe that you should look for it as soon as you walk through the door. It should be seen as soon as you walk through the door by any of our stakeholders. It's in the greetings that our families get when they come into our office. It should be displayed throughout the hallways in the work that is on the walls, as well as it should be a part of the lessons that are taught. Leadership is key in this effort because the culture of any organization is shaped by the worst behavior that the leader is willing to tolerate. So if you have a vision of creating a more culturally responsive teaching atmosphere, then as the leader, you must first display it, as well as give those who are not displaying it positive feedback so that they can move closer to the ability, and they should move closer to what is being expected of all staff in your building. So, what is culturally relevant teaching? Zaretta Hammond has a really great definition that I've broke down into 5 different parts. Number 1, the ability to recognize students' cultural displays of learning and meaning making. What that means is that a teacher will look at her students as individuals, but trying to figure out what is it that makes student number 1 who they are? What does it make that makes student number 2 who they are? Far too many times in teaching, we teach the group, not the individual. 2, respond positively and constructively with teaching moves that use cultural knowledge as a scaffold. Again, once you learn who your students are and how they operate and what cultural things that make up who they are, use those things as ways as a foundation to teach the skills that you want students to learn, to teach the concepts that you want them to learn. Use them to build knowledge and then get them to the standards that we have to teach. 3, connect what the student knows to new concepts and content in order to promote effective information processing. Again, our students come with a lot of knowledge. They come with ways of learning. So what we want to do is connect with what they know to what they need to know. Number 4, having a social and emotional connection to our students. Many teachers, you would be hard pressed to find a teacher that says that they're not connecting socially and emotionally with their students. However, we must go beyond the surface connection and go to more of a deeper connection. Understanding who students are, how they learn, where they come from, helps you have that deeper connection. And then lastly, creating a safe space for learning. This is more than creating a space where violence doesn't occur, but it's also creating a space where academic risk can take place. It's very important that students feel in the school, in the classrooms, that they can take these risks, or they can feel comfortable in the way that they're learning. Again, CRT is about the connection between the brain and rigorous learning, closing achievement gaps, and building brain power for underperforming students who are stuck on the low end of the achievement gap. Let's be honest, we cannot build brain power with drill and skill. We can only build brain power through through critical discussions and through critical learning and having students think critically. It's very important to talk about what CRT is not. It's not a predetermined curriculum. You can't order it from Pearson. You can't find it on Teacher Pay Teachers. It's not a bag of tricks. It's not easy. It's not something that's quick. Very important. It's not watered down instruction. A lot of people assume age appropriate grade level instruction is watered down. It's not feel good teaching. Although our brains learn best when we feel good, but CRT is way more than that. And it's not only for students of color or certain backgrounds or students from poverty. All students can benefit from culturally responsive teaching because it helps us all understand who we are and where we are placed in this world. Now, I know as a charter school educator and school leader, I know even in education, it is hard to find people to join your team. But it's imperative when you are looking for people to join your team, if you are your desire is to create this culturally relevant atmosphere, that you are asking them questions that will at least give you an idea of where they are on that level and on that topic. Now, I am not saying to only accept people who give the right answer, but what I am saying is make sure as a team, when you are interviewing people, you have a vision and an idea of what culturally responsive teaching is, and then what are some of the characteristics that culturally responsive teachers have. Talking about those characteristics, there are 4 in this definition. Culturally responsive teachers are teachers who, 1, have a socio-political consciousness about themselves. 2, they have positive views of the students from diverse backgrounds. 3, they have responsibility for and the capacity to bring about educational change. And 4, the ability to build students' prior knowledge while stretching them beyond the familiar. These are all characteristics of teachers who possess or are somewhere on the learning level and on the journey of becoming a more culturally responsive teacher. But to thine own self be true. As a school leader, you need to make sure that you are researching. You need to make sure that you know what it is and you display culturally responsive teaching and strategies throughout your work. How you deal with students, how you deal with behaviors, how you deal with teachers. It's very important that you facilitate a positive school climate and nurture positive relationships with your students and the community at large. Professional development, it is very key in this. You need to make sure as a school leader that teachers have time to have professional development on this topic. Some key things that your professional development should have, it should be intentional. If you are talking about CRT and you're working on strategies, the PD needs to be intentionally set to get those things as an outcome from the professional development. Secondly, it must provide staff a variety of opportunities to learn, discuss, and grow. Just the whole topic of culturally responsive teaching, it comes with a lot of baggage. So we must make sure that we are giving teachers time to have conversation and to grow closer as a staff and to learn from this topic. We must allow for introspective deep dives of one's own personal bias. Again, who you are is who you are, but who you are becoming can be shaped through quality professional development. Contain a variety of strategies to gain CRT skills. So you should have trainings, professional development trainings. You want to look for conferences that are focused on CRT, and you want to do some type of book studies, which I'm going to talk about in a few moments. But most importantly, you want to be patient. You want to give positive feedback. You want to give essential feedback. And it's very important that you do that along this process. And as a school leader, you must gain these skills along with your staff to create this environment throughout your building. And this environment should also be expected and accepted. So again, as a school leader, you want to create that safe environment for teachers as well to use culturally responsive teaching. Lastly, where should you start? I know, again, I acknowledge that this is a huge topic. However, I would start with a critical conversation with my staff around the topic of why are students not achieving. Very important though, focus on the things that you control and devise a plan for that. Again, any good PD should be research-based. And Zaretta Hammond's book is a book called Culturally Responsive Teaching in the Brain. It is a book that our school improvement team has done a book study on. And we can provide your school with some guidance. We can be a part of this. If you want to do a book study, we could be a part of this book study and help you and make some suggestions on things that you want to look for in while you're doing this study, or with another book you might suggest. Again, my name is Kim Jones. My email is kjones@buckeyehope.org, and I look forward to working with you and your staff to create a culturally relevant teaching atmosphere throughout your building. Thank you for listening.